All right, great. All right, well, welcome to week 2 of Church 101. This was one of the biggest eye openers for me, what we're going to talk about this week. And, it's today we get to talk about the first aspect of being church together. And it's just amazing that I never really saw two people coming together in Jesus being a church. To me, that was just profound. So, and we're going to talk about connecting heart to heart with each other. And, when we're glad to be together, no matter what is going on with any of us, we get to experience joy. And in Luke 10, we practice sharing our feelings with each other daily, or as close to daily as possible, so that we can learn how to be glad with each other, even when there's what we call heavy feelings, those weighty feelings. So today, we're going to first start by reacting to the lesson that's online, and then we will practice checking in so that if you've never done that before, you'll know how to do that with your CO2 partner. So, first of all, any questions about that you need answered right now before we dive into round one?
No.
Super. All right. So this is what we call our reaction round to the material online. And again, we remember that we go through this material until the coach stops us. And then we just kind of inquire, why'd you stop me here? And what do you want me to know? And so if you were able to do the lessons, I invite you to share what stood out to you and what you sensed God saying about that. If you did not get to interact with the lesson, no worries. Just give a thumbs up and we can pass and come back later so you can react to what others are sharing. So I will start, and where the coach stopped me was, I don't remember, I think it was fairly early on. There's a man by the name of Dr. Wilder. I've read some of his material, and he teaches that true joy is being glad to be together, even in these more difficult emotions, that God really intends that the community we call church is the place where we receive this kind of support. And I have to tell you, as a pastor for 16 years, I never knew how to connect heart to heart this way. I was a person who, when someone was having heavy emotions, I got uncomfortable, not even realizing it. But my reaction to them was to try to fix them. Who we're missing is Sarah Jeannie. Did she pop on? No. Okay. I totally spaced that out. Hopefully she will. I haven't gotten a text or anything. Let me just double check real quick. Sometimes people have a challenge with Zoom. Nope, nothing from her. So, anyways, hopefully she can make it. So, yeah, it was a really it was something I realized, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to learn how to grow in this. And so really what the Lord showed me was that the reason that I was uncomfortable when other people were expressing heavy emotions, and me wanting to try to help them, was to make myself feel better. It really didn't have much to do with making the other person feel better. And that was such a huge, wow, how did I miss that all these years? And my experience in what I call big church, legacy church, is that I never trained or was never trained myself how to be with people and just be glad to be with them, and not solicit advice or try to fix them. And so it was really neat for me. Um, it's what else stood out to me. It's very interesting to me that the only way through these emotions, the heavy emotions, is to know that someone is glad to be with me, and another person that might be experiencing that, they need to know that I'm glad to be with them. So that's my takeaway, what I really, and I will say I've been practicing this now for a couple of years, and it has made a huge difference in my life. Um, I haven't pastored a traditional church for now 11 plus 2, 13 years. It took 11 years to deprogram me, and I'm 2 years into this new experience of being church. So I will go in the order that I see on my screen, and Sue, that brings you up.
Well, thank you for sharing. I enjoyed that. I can relate to a lot of that because, I feel like I want to fix things, and, you think, and it's so important to just really hear what somebody's saying.
Right.
And we are such a culture of saying, oh, everything is just great, and is that really true? I, I work in a fast food restaurant, and people ask me that all day long. And of course, I say, oh, yeah, I'm doing just great, because do they really want to know? That's I think a lot of it. And it's hard when somebody, they're asking you that, and you just feel like, okay, they really don't want to know, so I'm not really going to tell them, how I'm really feeling, and it's kind of sad because that's kind of the way the culture is.
Yeah.
And I went through all the materials because it's just like I'm just hungry to hear everything. I'm just so fascinated by everything. And it's the more I hear and hear, I just get really excited. So I kept going on. And I love that. I love that. But like I said, it's and Carol and I have talked about that, how important it is just to say how you're really feeling in that moment. Once in a while you run into somebody who really wants to know, but I think as a culture, it's, nobody cares, or you feel like that.
Right. Awesome. Thank you for sharing, Sue. Well, Linda Lou, you're up next. And you're muted, just in case you forgot that you're muted. There.
Sarah Jean's here. Did you want to?
Yeah. Hi, Sarah Jeannie.
About we had somebody delivering something at the home. I'm sorry about being late.
Good.
Yeah.
We just started into our first round, and that's a reaction to the material. If you had a chance to go through it on the website. And I just shared my experience. Susan just shared hers, and now Linda Lou is about to share in this reaction round to the material. So Linda Lou, go ahead.
Okay, so I apologize ahead of time. I'm not set up the most comfortable today, and I'm having some slight technical issues. So I'm up in a mountain.
Oh boy.
Literally almost on top of the mountain, and the internet has not been cooperating. So if y'all lose me, I didn't run away. So like I can't even see myself right now. I just disappeared. So it's okay. So for me, so I am part of a home group. And so I've been practicing a lot of these rhythms already. And for me, the big challenge and blessing was learning to listen. And to try to shut down the dialogue in my mind and actually hear and be with the other person.
Wow.
and not feel like I had to have an antidote or compare. Also, on the flip side for me, I am a deep feeler and I have heavy emotions quite often and am used to, so it's a little much for some people. In the past, you know, I would share with the wrong people I couldn't trust. Sometimes I would even share to get people away from me, kind of like a shock value, to kind of thin out the herd. So for me, being in the group and being in a safe space to be able to share heavy emotions is a very new experience for me. I have a lot of trauma in my background, so being able to trust is not an easy thing for me at all. And so it's really been transformative in my life on both receiving and being able to share.
Awesome. And just so you guys know, Linda Lou and I are part of the same kingdom family here in the Tetons.
We
And,
are.
yeah, and that's awesome, Linda Lou. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Ashley, you're up.
Okay, I got stopped very early on in the material, and you're gonna have to wait a minute, okay? Of course, everyone starts talking to me the minute I get on here.
Of course.
But yeah, I got stopped really early on. I have been really struck by this, like making space for without trying to like fix or change. I very much grew up with. Who are you talking? Can you help her? I grew up with the inability to really like have my emotions. I was often told, like, we talked a lot about emotion, but it was always like getting rid of it or moving away from it. And I'm gonna find the glasses. Hold on. I'm so sorry.
You're okay.
And so I in that like became very easy for me to really show people what they wanted to see. Instead of actually really being honest about things. And so that has been really challenging and kind of hit a point in my life over the last year where I couldn't sustain that anymore. And really came to a place where I honestly didn't really want to live anymore. And so just like knowing that there are like people who love Jesus that want to make space for everything that it might be that someone might feel and not feel the need to, you know, spiritually bypass or change or fix. Like I think about there are several times over the course of my life when I would have benefited from just having people to like acknowledge my experience and just be in that space with me. So yeah, it's just, yeah.
Wow. Thank you for your transparency. Awesome. Sarah Jeannie, where did the coach stop you? And did you get a chance to go through the material? And if you did, what was highlighted to you by the coach?
I'm going to pass today.
Okay, no problem. And again, you're also welcome to comment on what anyone else has shared if you didn't get a chance, okay? All right, well, let's move on to our next round.
Just wanted to check quickly with Linda Lou, how did your situation last time go? Did it get resolved?
Well, I did hear back from my CO2 partner, and we've met every week, every day, like not met, but we've texted every day. So that worked out. As far as the other thing, it's just in God's hands. I basically got a response from the client. They just said thanks. So I've just given it to God because he knows my
Yeah.
heart and he knows the situation. And yeah, I mean, I just can't. So there hasn't really been any resolution, but I'm in a season of really just having to learn to practice giving everything to God instead of obsessing over what could or couldn't happen. I'm a bit of an overthinker, so just a little bit. So yeah, so God's got it, and that other part worked out.
Awesome.
I'm,
That's a
I'm
good
so glad
update.
to see you joyful, my friend. It's good to
Yes.
hear.
Yeah, I'm really making an effort to just press into God and to try to just change the channel in my head.
Yes. I'm curious
Kind of
how
tuning up the state.
because
Go ahead.
Linda Lou, what you just shared, you said you are checking in with your CO2 partner.
Mhm.
Sounds like almost daily, at least as
Mhm.
close to daily as possible. Anyone else have a CO2 partner? I know Sarah Jeannie, you do, yeah. Susan, Ashley. Okay.
Yep, I do. Carol
And-
and I are CO2 partners.
Okay, great, awesome. Ashley, do you have a CO2 partner you're
Yeah.
able to practice with?
Yes, I do.
Awesome. Okay, super. That's fantastic. Everybody's connected. So, uh, as the material kind of went through this, we check in with something we call sachet. It's just an acronym for the basic emotions: sad, angry, surprised, happy, excited, tender. And so that's what, you don't have to use those words, but it's very helpful. So during our check-in, we share several emotions we're feeling. It might be hard at first. I know it was for me. I did not have a language for any of this at all. And I never used feeling words unless I knew I was angry. So we have this acronym just to help us think of words when we can't seem to find any. And you don't have to use them. And then when we're done checking in, we just say, I'm in. And it's just a way of saying, I'm fully here now. I am bringing all of me and I'm ready. And so again, I'll go first. And today I am checking in with just being very happy, very reflective, and a little bit contemplating, and and I guess it would be a little bit of sadness in how fast this day is going by. It's just like, whew, which I'm like, what is that? Oh, okay, I'm sad it's going by so fast. So I have to pat myself on the back because before being introduced to this, there's no way I could express how I was feeling. So I'm in. Susan.
So I guess I'm feeling challenged today because when I was at work, I sometimes can feel like they want me to do one thing and then they're telling me something different, and it's like, so I feel like I can get confused and challenged by maybe what's going on, or I feel like I'm not being seen. And so and because I work with a lot of young people, sometimes my head thinks it's because, oh, you're just an old person and they don't really care. So in it, and I don't think that's true, but that's what I think I tell myself.
And
So, yeah.
curious question, Sue, when you feeling, when you're feel, what emotion is that you're feeling when you, like you mentioned, I'm the old person, or
I can feel sad.
right?
I
Okay.
can feel sad because I think, oh, I'm really not.
Yeah.
You know, my head says I'm not, but you
Right.
know, it feels like that's, you know,
And
because
you,
they're really young. They're teenagers that I work with. So yeah,
right.
you
Okay.
know, so I kind of get it. So yeah, and I'm in.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Linda Lou.
Okay. Um, I've got a lot of different emotions going on just because I'm kind of at a state of transition. I still have a little bit of sadness from Mother's Day. It was a pretty tough day for me. And I haven't been feeling well since Friday. Today's the first day where I'm feeling more myself. And that's kind of, so there's just been, I've been dealing with a lot of um, different emotions. And I would say that I'm in a state of expectancy because there are some situations and um, relationships that I have lifted up to God um, that I need wisdom on. And so I need to know if my energy, you know, where my energy should be, if it should be. Um, so I'm, I kind of feel like I'm a little bit in limbo. Um, I'm, I'm a make it happen kind of person. And so waiting on God to respond to me and not trying to figure it out in my, you know, my thoughts are not his thoughts. Um, it's really a challenge for me. Like, yeah. So, um, yeah. So I mean, so yeah, so I'm just kind of here waiting, expectantly and hopeful. Um, but also there is a part of me that's a little, I wouldn't say scared, but you know, because I'm gonna be obedient to whatever the Holy Spirit says to me. And so I'm just wondering if I'm gonna be disappointed on any front. So I'm in.
Thank you, Linda Lou. I have a curious question. When you're in that state, and we've all been there, you mentioned the word, I feel like I'm in limbo. What is the prevailing emotion that goes on in your heart when you're in that state of limbo-ness, if we can call it that?
Well, for me, it's a lot of different things. It's the, you know, is there am you know,
Let me help you with just going, just saying the three or the words from that
yeah,
chart.
I mean, I know them, but they don't really, you know, scared is part, maybe a little bit
Okay,
sad.
yeah,
Um,
awesome.
Fearful of, I don't know. I have abandonment and rejection issues. So that, I mean, I've got the things have gotten, God has healed me a lot from that. So I just, I'm trying to learn not to project, which is really difficult for me because I'm so, I sense shifts and things so readily. So I'm anticipant, but I'm also kind of scared and wondering if I'm going to be sad about some of the confirmations or answers I get.
Thank you. Thank you. I hear that emotion, and thanks for sharing. Ashley.
I feel like a mix of things today. I feel like I woke up feeling pretty good this morning and pretty happy. And then I've kind of been working through some things with a friend of mine who honestly is very concerned about me. I've kind of deviated from some of the like typical evangelical like ways of thinking, and I've been listening to a lot more of just like diversity amongst like scholars and theologians, and I don't feel afraid. I feel very confident that like God is leading me everywhere that I may go, and part of that has been because I think the idea of who I've been given God is, it's just like been very hard for me, and there's a lot I think that I need to just be okay with sitting with and asking God to speak to me about. And I don't know, that's not, I guess, translating in the best way to a few different people that I know. And I understand because I've been there myself. I felt all the same feelings that they feel.
Yeah.
But recognize that like this is ultimately like the place God has me. And I've felt today like I have kind of been put in a place where I think someone was expecting me to be defensive and like give an explanation for myself. And I've been like really working on not needing to change other people's opinions about what it is that I'm choose to do, because I don't have control over what people may think of me. I'm responsible for what I think of me and like where I am at with the Lord, and nothing else. And I mean, I say that and that sounds really black and white, but I think hopefully you're understanding what I'm saying. But anyway, and yeah, I feel like there's a little bit of sadness.
Right.
Yes, that's fine. Because I feel like there's a level to like a specific place that these people want me to land in order for them to be comfortable. And I've done that my entire life, and I can't do that anymore. And I don't think that that's authentic to my relationship with God anymore. And so I feel frustrated because I feel like some of it feels a little manipulative to me. And then I feel sad because then I feel like I'm like supposed to serve this purpose for other people, which I don't necessarily feel like I'm aligning myself with anymore. It's just a lot. I feel like this inner like turmoil and this conflict of like, there has been good things from past seasons where I, you know, but I did in those seasons, and there's also purpose in this season. And so just trying to like hold space for myself in that, while also like honoring that feels like really difficult for other people. Like other people are allowed to have their feelings too. And yeah, so I feel sad and confused, I think. I'm being chased. Come here, babe.
Thank you. That's your 1-year-old.
I'm in.
Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Sarah Jeannie.
I'm checking in. I'm checking in with mixed feelings. First, I was wondering if I'll be able to join at all with the delivery happening. but I'm glad that I got to jump in on the call. It kind of wrapped up quickly. So I'm experiencing glad to be together, Joy, seeing you all. And I also few things on my mind I needed to get done today. So I have that list I need to be working on. Um, and instead of doing the work, I had a book group in the morning for 2 hours and then I took a nap. So I think later in the day I'm going to be now working on that, and then I have another group in the evening, 7 to 8. So my mind in the back has like, oh, I got this, that to do. So a little bit busy back there. But otherwise, I'm really glad to be with you guys and listening in on everyone. I'm in.
All right. Thank you, Sarojini. Awesome. Um, oops, I lost my place here. Okay. So we're going to, that was great, by the way. And again, I just want to remind all of us that this is where we get to practice. And I was so grateful to have a group like this to practice this stuff. Because again, it was pretty new to me, connecting heart to heart with other people this way. So, you know, I will bring up the something in the lesson called how to handle heavy emotions. If you didn't get a chance to go through that, I would just encourage you to do it. And that was life-changing for my wife. She was done with church. I mean, done. She was tired of people trying to fix her. And when the very first time we came together in our Church 101 course, we were able to do it face to face with some friends. And she was experiencing some heavy emotion, couldn't even explain it. And someone said, "Can I share something with you?" And she said, "No." She felt the freedom to say no. And then someone asked, "Is there anything you need from us?" And she said, "Prayer." And one of the folks in our group got up. His name is Ian. And Ian just went over and stood behind my wife, Laurie. All he did was place his hand on her head. Didn't say anything. And this major stuff just came off her. And this thrilled her so much that from that moment on, she's been a Church 101, Luke 10 girl, whatever you want to call it, because of that experience. So if you haven't had a chance to check it out, it's really, really good. It definitely helped me get over my uncomfortableness of being with people with heavy emotions. Any questions before we move on to our next round or comments? Okay, super. So this is our reaction round to what we just practiced. And I'm curious, how did checking in feel to you as we went through that together? What was it like for you? You know, the goal of this lesson is checking in. And so, again, we just want to reflect on what it was like for each of us. And if you want to comment whether or not you know how to handle heavy emotions, or this is new to you, whatever comes to your mind to share. For me, I just love it because it was so transformational. I love really paying attention and trying to connect with each person's heart, each of your hearts. The more I practice, the more I kind of am able to really connect better with people. Just pausing for a sec to think if there's anything else about our experience just now. Uh, I have often shared with Linda Lou that there was a time when I couldn't handle her heavy emotions. You might remember me sharing that with you, Linda Lou. But because of this training and the opportunity to practice, that when God brought Linda Lou into my life, I was ready, and I was just absolutely amazed. And I'm not perfect by any means, but it's been pretty neat for me. So that's what I have to share. How about you? Let's see, back to Sue. What did it feel like for you as we practice this? Or what was it like?
It feels genuine to have people to be open with you and reveal their heart. I mean, it feels like you're really seeing somebody's heart, and that just really is, you're right, it is new. It is new, and it's good to be able to see that. And I printed out all that stuff out on heavy emotions because I thought that was really so good.
Yeah.
Like, wow. I mean, it's pretty transformational, I think. I know I have my own heavy emotions, but you think, well, okay, all these other people don't have the same emotions I have, but that's not really true. So I enjoyed that, to be able to be so honest with each other and be comfortable enough to be able to do that. And I thank God for letting us have that opportunity to be close enough to be able to do that. That's amazing, I think. And I'm really looking forward to that, to be able to do that, not only with my CO2 person in this group, but with other people. I really want to be able to do that with other people. It's really my goal.
Awesome. Wow, that's great. I'm excited. I'm excited for you.
Well, thank you.
I rejoice in this being a new thing for you. I remember what it was like for me. Thank you again. Linda Lou, how did this land on you practicing in this group together?
So I'm in a season of learning to trust. It's been a desire in my heart for a long time for God to place outlets and safe outlets and trusting environment for me to be able to be who I am and to be able to share. I don't do well surface level. It's not how God made me. So being able to share and being vulnerable is and knowing that it's safe, it's blessed, and that it is that this comes from Jesus. It's I don't know how to explain. So for me, I've always felt that people are supposed to share and be vulnerable. But the world is not that same. And so to have this group and our home group and then my CO2 partner, where I can be my authentic self and not feel like I have to hide or suppress what I'm going through or feeling or dealing with, and where I can just be who I am, which is being transformed each day, is really a blessing to me. but it's also kind of scary because, you know, I mean, we don't grow in our comfort zone. So just learning to be genuine and being okay with it, you know, and knowing that other people are okay with it. I'm not scaring anybody off, offending anybody, or being thrown under the bus. So that's it's new and it's nice.
Awesome. Wow. Thank you for sharing. Wow. Ashley, what was it like for you to be checking in with all of us?
It felt good. It felt like comforting and just nice to feel like I can show up in the space and not have to filter or not have to like choose my words carefully. Yeah, I resonate with a lot of like what you said, Linda Lou. So yeah, just knowing that I can be authentic and share the things that I'm thinking or feeling and not have to like then kind of field the responses or like questions or and feel like, you know, targeted or kind of pointed at about like, you know, I don't know what that may mean. Just like being able to be fully like, yeah, this is what I think or this is what I feel. And yeah, it feels nice.
Awesome. We're seeing the real Ashley. I really sense that. So, Jeannie.
I think it's really good and a relief to be able to take off your mask, because if you are just sharing with a mask or performing, then your mask is loved. For you to be loved, the real you, you have to be seen and known and valued and loved exactly where you are at. And without receiving that love from God and others, we can't be transformed. So this kind of check-in gives us opportunity to be seen, known, and loved at that level where we can really be changed. So
It
I
does.
love that.
How did this specific experience with all of us land on you today?
You know, I was looking forward to, I mean, I was glad that I got to be part of it. The thing ended before, and I was looking forward to connecting with you girls and especially finding out on Linda Lou. So, and I got to see how Ashley juggling with the little kids and the 1 year old, and she's still on it. So, bravo. I can't even imagine. And then I see Susan with her different, working with teenagers. I think that's probably really hard, but there she is, brave girl. So it was really cool to see everyone where they are at.
Awesome.
So I enjoy that.
All right. Thank you. Great. So, anybody have anything to share about your CO2 partner and how that's going as you're beginning to practice checking in with them? And why don't we just do another quick round of if you've got anything to share about that. And again, it's optional, you don't have to. For me, my CO2 partner is my wife, that she has been for over 2 years now. And it has just been awesome. We're much more intimate. And recently, with my firstborn son moving in with us, who's kind of, he was a 5-year Bible college student, president of his class, and came out agnostic. And so he is now checking in with us, loves it, starting to use it at work. He's reconnecting with God. It's just so awesome to see. So that's what's going on with me and my CO2. Susan, anything you want to share about your practice with
Yeah. So we've been checking in pretty much every day. And at first we were just checking in on where our heart was. And then we said, oh, we should really just kind of go to God and see what, he has to say for each other. And that has been, oh my gosh, it's been so good. It's just been really good. I'll say something, I'll tell Carol something that I saw from the Lord and heard, and it's just what she needed at that moment, and vice versa. It's like, it just feels, I feel like I'm getting more connected with God, and so I'm really enjoying it. And she kind of sent me a big text this morning. She had a rough night, and I had sent her something last night after we had shared it and hung up. And so I sent her a text, and she's like, oh my gosh, that's just what I needed. And thank you so much. And it was just, it's just so cool. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it.
And we get to practice listening to Jesus, I think, starting next week.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, we kind of started already.
That's all right. Linda Lou, how's it going with your CO2? Anything you want to share?
So everything has been done via text since we started, which is difficult for me because I feel a disconnect.
Sure.
And this is a person that I'm used to talking to at least once or twice a week.
Right.
And so I'm hoping that will shift, and that because when we have conversations, God uses us to kind of, it's been my experience with this person that when we are able to actually talk either on the phone or face to face, they're just, Jesus is just really communicates to us on a heart level through each other.
Right.
And so I kind of miss that.
Yeah.
But it's been nice knowing that they are committed, and we are both checking in each day. It's just difficult for me because I like to feel more of a connection. So
Sure.
texting to me is just, I don't really feel the intimate heart connection. So that's been a little tough for me.
Sure.
But yeah, so.
Face to face is always nice, right?
Yes, or at least even talking to the person and hearing their voice. Yeah. It's just, there's just so much that gets left out and lost in translation. I am, I use all my senses when I connect with someone. And so it's difficult. I don't like texting anyway, or
Well,
emails.
good for you that you did it anyway.
Yes. So, but I mean, yeah, so absolutely. And God has still used it. He used us, and there has been a connection. It's just, I'm looking forward to it shifting, or having at least some verbal communication.
We hear you. Yeah, I hear you for sure. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Ashley, anything you want to share about your CO2 practice with your partner?
Yeah, really, it's just been good. It hasn't, up until this point, it hasn't really been anything like different than what we were kind of already doing. So, I mean, I think there's been like more specific intention, but
Right.
really, like, we talk every day and we see each other like 3 times a week anyway. So,
Right.
yeah.
Awesome. Good deal. And Sarojini, anything you want to share about your practice with your CO2 for, what was it,
Yeah.
900 and some odd days?
Yeah, 1961. Yeah, I've known my CO2 partner for close to 10 years. So we really know each other well. There is a comfort level, and we share a folder on our iPhone and iPad to communicate because, the timing we can't get the same, but every Tuesday we meet 2 hours face to face.
Oh,
I
great.
used to live in Wisconsin. We
Right.
met at my home, but now we do through Zoom. So, but it is still face to face. And, it's good to have someone who knows on daily basis what's going on with me at heart level. And I know
Mhm.
what's going on with her heart level, what kind of temptations she's facing or feeling inadequate on certain days or what is going on. And we tend to stand each other for the gap, so it's good to know that outside of God, there is a human person knows what's going on with you.
Yes.
So that is good. And we have a comfort level because of the longer friendship with each other that even through the folder, we get each other. So
Awesome.
yeah, so it's been
Thank you.
good. And
Yeah.
we'll keep doing till we die.
You'll soon reach 1,000. Thank you for sharing. Well, we're going to go right into our closing round. And again, we learn from experience, but even more from when we reflect on our experience. And so I'm just going to ask these 3 questions at once and invite you guys to, or gals, I should say, to answer whichever you feel the most drawn to. And so, what do you take away from our time today? And I'll give all of us a chance to just kind of reflect before we get right into the round. And you might want to even jot some things down, but what did you take away from our time today? What did you see happen between us? And what was most important to you? So what did you take away? What did you see happen between us? And what was most important to you? We'll just take about a minute or so. Think about those questions. Okay. For me, I took away that we are being the church together. And what I saw happen between us was really deeper relational connection, but kind of turbocharged just because of this rhythm. Makes it just that much easier to connect with each of you. And what was most important for me is that I met and heard from each of your authentic selves, your true selves today, which just blesses the heck out of me. So those are my takeaways. Sue?
So my takeaways was the transparency, to be so transparent that, we can feel comfortable to be who we are and seen and heard. And then it brings a real connection and a real joy to my heart.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Linda Lou.
So my takeaways were very similar to what you expressed. Just the relatability and feeling connected on a very on a heart level, and on a very genuine and authentic level, and just in the feeling of it being comfortable, safe even, and just I think that we're able to receive and accept each other for where we're at. There's no judgment, there's no, nobody's trying to fix anyone. There's no, it's just there's a feeling, a presence of Jesus, because it's not worldly. It's just feels very divine.
Wow, awesome. Thank you. Ashley, what are you taking away from our time together?
I'm taking away safety and I think like a sense of belonging. I don't know if any of you are familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. It's like a little triangle, and it talks about just like basic needs, psychological needs, and then like self-fulfillment needs, and thinking about like safety, like and security being one of those low level needs, and then like belongingness being like a sense of belonging being another need for like growth and to be able to self-actualize. And I think about like what it takes to find those things, and I just feel really thankful to be able to like sense that already, like so early on in the space, that everyone's able to show up authentically and what feels really safe. So.
Was there anything that was most important for you about our time together?
Probably just like feeling like this is a safe space.
Okay, super.
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Sarah Jeannie.
I am blessed by seeing the growing relational connection and also mutual care. And I can see where I can relate with these ladies. With Linda Lou, I can relate. I had my soul trust structures were quite broken, and I had to, take a step to start trusting people as well as God, because you are the same person. You can't say I trust God and I don't trust people, because it's both ways. So, and not having sense of worth. So that was quite a journey. So my heart totally goes out to her. And then I see Ashley, I mean, admiration total, because I have no idea what it is to raise a young family and to be there in that. And I'm so glad that at such a young age you are into it. And I'm glad to meet Susan, and she has a long-term friend like Carol, like I do, so I can relate to that part of her, that her CO2 partner is known to her. So just, I can identify with the parts of them and feel inspired. So these are the things. And of course, safe community. They all said, I don't want to reiterate that. Just thankful to be here, be part of this community.
All right, awesome. Well, I'm glad to be with all of you. I value you so much, not as much as Jesus. And we will see you next week.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Appreciate
Thank
your
you.
heart.
Have a great evening, everybody. Bye-bye.
You
Bye.
guys.